Okay, for the 5.3, so we're going to start with some expanding. So, binomial, so it's a double rainbow. So 2a times 3a is 6a squared. 2a times negative 6b is negative 12ab. 2b times 3a is positive 6ab. And 2 times negative 6 is negative 12b squared. So collect like terms. 6a squared, negative 12 plus 6 gets you negative 6ab. Take away 12b squared. Okay, now we have a difference of two squares because they're exactly the same apart from plus and minus. So the quick way would be square the first, so 100p squared, square the second, 9q squared, and have a minus in between. Now you can also do double rainbows. 100p squared minus 30q plus 30q, which will cancel each other out, minus 9q. Okay, we have a perfect square here. So the quick way would be square the first, double the product. Now the product of those two together is positive 5y. Double it, so we get positive 10y. And square the last, which is y squared. Now the slower way would be to write the brackets twice because it's squared. 5 times 5 is 5 squared, 5y, 5y, which gives you 10y, and y squared. Okay, the first bracket. Now again, difference of two squares. So square the first, which is y squared. Square the second, 25, with a minus in between. Now this bracket needs to be just double rainbows. We get y squared minus 9y plus y minus 9. So collect like terms. So we've got y squared plus y squared, which is 2y squared. We have minus 9y plus y, so minus 9 plus 1 is minus 8y, and we have minus 25 minus 9, which is minus 34. Okay, E, we have a perfect square, so square the first, x squared. The product of the two is negative 3x, and double it, which is negative 6x. Square the last, which is positive 9. Now, because that is a minus, we're going to keep it there and start our brackets. Now, this is a difference of two squares. Square the first, x squared, square the last, 1, and have a minus in between. So therefore, we have x squared minus x squared, which cancels each other out. We have minus 6x, that's the only x we have. Then we have positive 9 minus 1, which is plus 1, so it's positive 10. Okay, factorise fully. So when we factorise, first thing we do is look for common factors. So in 2a, what goes into all of those? 5 does, and an a, because this one only has 1a, and a b squared is the loss of each. So what's left? So if you take out the 5, one of the a's, so you're left with an a, and 2 of the b's, you'll be left with a b, plus 5 into 15 goes 3. You've taken out an a, so you're left with 2 of them. You've taken out 2 b's, so no remaining. 5 into 25 goes 5. You've taken out 1 in the a, you've taken out 2 of the b's, so that's it. Okay, b. Nothing is common for all 4, so we're going to factorise by pairs. So we're going to pair that and we're going to pair that because there is a factor for both of those. So 15 and 10 is 5, and there is an x common. 5 into 15 goes 3, and you've used the x. Take away 5 into 10 goes 2, you've used the x, so you've got a y. Plus 12 and 8 is 4. 4 into 12 goes 3, minus 4 into 8 goes 2y. Now we can see here that we can still factorise again because we have a common factor. So that goes out the front. What's left? 5x plus 4. Now C, that is a difference of two squares. Now that looks very similar to that answer there. So if you ever have problems with that one, you look previously to an expanded question, and then you can figure out, okay, it's going to look like that. So, two brackets. So instead of squaring the first, we are going to square root the first, which is 5x, which occurs in both. Square root the second, which is 4y, and it must have a plus and a minus in between either way. Now D. D is the same as C, but it's a little bit trickier because this is trying to trick you, but it's still a difference of two squares. It's one square minus another square. So two brackets. Square root the first, we get an x. Square root the second, well, when we get rid of the square, that's just square rooting. So we're just left with y minus 2 and y minus 2. And we must have a plus and a minus in between. Now, get rid of the little brackets in there, so we get x plus y minus 2 and x minus y plus 2, because this negative is going to affect what's inside, and we're done. Alright, E. Nothing's common to this trinomial, so therefore it becomes two brackets. So x squared is resulted from x and x. Now, the 20, give me two numbers that times together give you 20 and add to give you 12. Well, 10 and 2. And because it's positive, 20, both numbers have to be either positive and negative. So if that's negative, both are negative. Now, F, because there's nothing common in this, if that was, say, a 12 and that was a 6, then you could take out a common 3 and solve the trinomial. But because there's nothing common, you actually don't have to do that one. Okay, factorise first. So the top one is a trinomial. So x and x. Now give me two numbers that times together give you 15 and subtract to get you 2. Well, that's 5 and 3. Now because it's positive 2, the bigger number must be positive, because positive 5 minus 3 is 2. Now the bottom, 2 goes into both, x and 3 times. The x minus 3's can cancel, so we're left with x plus 5 over 2. Now B, to add fractions we must have common denominator, so we can change this to 12 by times and by 2. What you do to the bottom, do the top. So you get 2m plus 6 over 12 plus 3m minus 5 over 12. Now, because we have a common 12, we just add the top together. 2m plus 3m is 5m. Positive 6 plus negative 5 is positive 1. C. Now, there's no way you can change this to this. So therefore, we just have to cross multiply, as in multiply both denominators by each other. So I'm going to put these both in brackets. So the first needs a 2y plus 6. What you do to the bottom, do to the top. This second one needs a 3y minus 4. So we end up getting, expand the top, we get 10y plus 30 over 2y plus 6, 3y minus 4, take away 9y minus 12, all over 2y plus 6, 3y minus 4. Okay, we have a common denominator of 2y plus 6, 3y minus 4. Subtract the top, so we've got 10y minus 9y. Which is 1y. And we have 30 minus 12. So we get positive 42. Okay. So by factorising, we need to simplify. So we can't do anything. Definitely don't times the top together right now. So we need to factorise. Now the first top is a trinomial. Y and y. Now tell me two things. Times together give you 6 and add together to give you 5. Well, that's 3 and 2, and because it's negative 5, they both need to be negative. Over, okay, the bottom y is common to both, y squared minus 4 times, now we don't have to change, don't have to flip. If it was a divide, we have to flip that second one, but 2 goes into both, y squared minus 4, and y goes in y minus 2. Now, do we see anything on top with anything down on the bottom? Now, this one here is a difference of 2 squares, so that would be y minus 2y plus 2, same as that, but because they're the same, we can just cancel them out right now. The y minus 2 for the y minus 2, so we are left with 2y minus 3 on top and y squared on the bottom. Okay, 2 people at a party, shake hands, there's 1 handshake. 3 people, there'll be 3 handshakes. 4 people, there'll be 6. You can see the pattern, it goes up by 2, then 3, obviously 4, and then 5. Okay, don't worry about the next 2. I think the equation becomes number of handshakes equals half n squared minus half n, and when you sub 30 into that, you get n equals 435. Finally, a rectangular swimming pool, 3x plus 7 long and x minus 2 wide, is surrounded by a steel fence that is 2x from the edge of the pool. So, therefore, from there to there is 2x, so is that. From there to there is 2x, and so is that. So, it's best to do the length and the width now. So, if the length is 3x plus 7 plus another 2x and another 2x, that will get you 7x plus 7. Now if the width is x minus 2 plus another 2x and plus another 2x, that will get you 5x minus 2. Alright, write a simplified expression for the perimeter of the fence. So we have 7x plus 7 plus 5x minus 2 plus 7x plus 7 plus 5x minus 2, which gets us 12x, therefore 24x plus 10. Now, an expression for the area enclosed by the pool fence. Expand and simplify. So we have area, length, times width, double rainbows. We end up getting 35x squared minus 14 plus minus 14x plus 35x gets us 21x, and 7 2's gets us 14, and it's negative. An expression between the pool fence and the pool and the fence, so therefore we know that the pool fence is that much area, and we are going to take away the area of the pool, which is the length times the breadth. So we get negative, we get 3x times x is 3x squared, we get minus 6x plus 7x minus 14, along with the same area. Now we are going to do 35x minus 3x squared, 35x squared minus 3x squared, which gets us 32x squared. We have 21x minus 6, that's a plus, so that's 27. Then minus plus, which is a minus 7, therefore we're left with 20x, and minus 14 minus, which is a plus, they cancel each other out, and that is our expression. And finally, when x equals 5, sub that in, 32 times 5 squared plus 20 times 5 will get us 900 meters squared. Bit of work, but actually quite easy when you get down to it. Good luck.